Hi, this is Heather with Affinity for Yarn, and today I would like to show you the reverse shell border that you see here. I just recently used it in a blanket that I just finished up, and I really loved the look that it gave the blanket. It really gives it a really cool, almost like a wavy look to it. So excited to show you that today. All right, so to go ahead and get started, what we're going to do, first of all, I just have, right here, I just have a swatch of a bunch of single crochet stitches to show you the pattern. The blanket that I just showed, I had a couple rounds of the single crochet stitch before I actually did the wave stitch. So really easy to work the wave stitch or the reverse shell stitch into single crochet stitches. All right, so to get started, I'm going to go ahead and join the yarn. So you want to choose the yarn that you want the border out of. And for this example, I'm using the teal here. And then the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and count out and do a slip stitch in the fourth chain from the corner. So let's count that out. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to go ahead and slip stitch into that fourth stitch from the corner. I'll tighten my yarn a little bit here. There we go. All right, so slip stitch made, and now the yarn is joined. And now the next thing you're going to do is go ahead and chain 1, just like that. Okay, and then the next thing is we're going to do 3 single crochet stitches, and we're going to do it actually in the first stitch there that we join the slip stitch to. That will count as your first single crochet. So it'll be 1, 2, 3 to do that. So let's go ahead and do that. 1 single crochet, 2 single crochets, and 3 single crochets. So that's kind of how that is working right now. Now the next step we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and chain 3 stitches. So 1, 2, and 3, just like that. All right, so now we've got that done. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're actually going to turn or flip the work to work on the back side of it. So you're going to flip it around like that, and then for this first shell, because we don't have any other shell started, it's a little bit different than the other shells are going to be. So this first one, we're just actually going to slip stitch into that first single crochet that we made. So that will be this stitch here. We're just going to do a slip stitch into that stitch there. Okay. And then after you get done with the slip stitch, you're going to go ahead and chain 1 again, just like that. Okay, so this is how that's looking. And now we're going to go ahead and we're going to flip our work back to the front. Okay, and we'll kind of lay it out here. And the next step is we're actually going to, in this big chain 3 space right here, we're actually going to do 5 double crochet stitches right into this. So 5 double crochets right into this big chain 3 stitch. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, and let me show you what that looks like just real quick. So that's what that first shell looks like. So we have actually completed the first shell in the border here. So now to go ahead and continue on, we're going to, it's very similar for the rest of the shells, but like I said, instead of a slip stitch, we're actually going to be slip stitching around a post of the shell before it. So you'll see as we get there. So the next step we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and chain, single crochet in the next 3 stitches. So 1, 2, 3. So in this case, we're going to just continue moving on down. We're not going to do it into the same stitch like we did with the first one, but we're actually going to do it in the next 3 stitches. So 1 single crochet here, and then 2, and then 3. Okay, so that is complete. And just wait, I'm getting my yarn untangled. All right, and now we're going to go ahead and chain 3. So 1, 2, 3, just like that. And now we're going to go ahead, we're going to turn the work just like we did with the first shell, first shell. And now this is where it gets a little bit different than the first one. You'll see here and you kind of have to pull the yarn apart a little bit, that there's this post right here on the back side of the shell. That's where you're going to want to work around your slip stitch to attach, basically to attach the shell this shell to the first one. So to do that, you're going to go ahead and you're going to insert your hook in like this, just like that. And then you're going to slip stitch. So it's pull the yarn through and pull the yarn through the yarn on your hook. And then you have attached the two shells together. And now you're going to go ahead and you're going to chain one, just like the first time, like that. Okay, so that's how this is looking right now. And now we're going to go ahead and turn our work back to the front. And we're going to do the 5 double crochets right in this chain 3 space again. So 5 double crochets. 1, oops, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so then let me lay that flat so you can kind of see how that looks, and you kind of just have to lay the flat, like kind of straighten out the shells here, but you'll see it's starting to get that wave pattern like that. And so now for the rest of the border around the blanket, we're going to continue doing the same shell pattern that we just did here. And my one call is even in the corners. I kept going with just 3 chains, and it kind of gave it a cool effect with the corners as well. So there's nothing special that needs to be done in the corners. Just continue with the same pattern that you're using. So let's go ahead and do another one. So again, we're going to do a single crochet in the next 3 stitches here. So 1, and then 2, and 3. Okay, and then we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, just like that. And then we're going to flip our work, and we're going to again do that slip stitch around the post of the shell in front of it. So again, if you kind of separate the yarn, you'll see this post right here. We're going to go ahead and slip stitch around that, so just like that. And then you pull the yarn through it and pull the yarn through the loop on your hook, and you've slip stitched, and then chain 1. And now we're going to flip the work back around to the front again. And we're going to do the 5 double crochets. So you'll see it's actually, once you get the hang of this stitch, it actually moves very quickly. So it's a lot of fun. It really gives a unique look to the blankets that I've used it on. So excited for you to try that today. Let me just count how many I have here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 more. And what's cool with this is you can change this up. I've seen, some use 7 double crochets in this chain 3 space, or 6, or, it all depends on how big you want your shell to be. For me, I just wanted the 5 double crochets because I felt like it gave it enough of a shell look, but I didn't want it to be too crowded looking. I wanted to really kind of have it look like a gentle wave, I guess is what I'm thinking of it. So again, we're just going to continue that pattern around the rest of the blanket, around the rest of the border. And I'm going to join you back at the last stitch here to show you how you join the last 2. Because again, you want them to kind of lay like they are here. So there's a special way to finish that last shell stitch. So I will meet you back once I'm done with the rest of the border. Okay, everyone, I am back. I'm at the last part of the blanket of the border. I just zoomed out a little bit so you could see it actually just with it all. It looks like, again, it looks really cool. And like I said, in the corners, it doesn't really matter. Like here, it has the shell stitch kind of covering it, whereas over here, it kind of lined up perfectly where they meet together. But again, there's no right or wrong. That's what's really cool about this stitch, is that there's a lot of flexibility in how you can use it. So like I said, I really loved using this as a border. Okay, so I'm going to zoom in here a little bit so we can finish up. And so you'll see, I know in the instructions it talks about doing, a single crochet in 3 stitches. And so you'll see here at the end of this border that I really only have 2 stitches left. So another really cool and flexible thing with this border is that you can do a couple different things with this if you don't have the 3 stitches like it calls for. One, you could either just do it with the 2 stitches here and do like a single crochet in these 2 stitches and then finish the shell stitch, or you could do a single crochet in this stitch where you already had one and then do that, and really no one's going to be able to tell that there's 2 stitches done in this. So it's really your own preference and what you want to do. For me, and what I've done is I usually just do it for as long as I have 2 stitches, I'll just do the single crochet in the 2 stitches and complete the shell that way. So again, for this last stitch, everything is similar up to the very last step, and I'll show you that. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to single crochet, and again, I'm going to do it in the 2, but if you have 3 stitches left, go ahead and do it in the 3. So 2 single crochets. Okay, and now I'm going to chain 3. So 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and now I'm going to flip my work over. Okay, let's kind of get some stuff situated here. Okay, all right, and now the next thing is we're going to do the slip stitch around the posts of the shell before it. So again, this piece right here, we're going to do a slip stitch into it. Okay, and then a chain 1. And now we're going to flip the work back, just like that. Okay. And then we're going to do the 5 double crochets in the chain 3 stay base here. So let's go ahead and do that. So 1, oops, oopsie. I'm having a hard time keeping that on the hook here. 1, sometimes they slide right off on me. 2, 3, oops, my yarn's getting tangled here. 4, oops, and 5, oopsie, and okay. So now I've done the last shell here. So you'll see this is kind of what it looks like right now. So you'll see there's this gap here. So we want to go ahead and close up the gap. So what I did in this case to kind of help with that is I'm actually went and I slip stitched into the first stitch here on the first blanket. I'm going to kind of zoom in here. So I slip stitched into this right here to kind of bring it all together and keep the shells with this shell being in the back and this shell being in the front. So I found that that's what worked best for me to kind of keep that same wavy pattern. And it is a little bit tight, which is fine. And then I'm just going to slip stitch, and I'm going to kind of pull it through here, and then kind of just fan it out a little bit. I'm going to pull up the yarn so you can kind of see here. There we go. So you'll see, you'll just finish it off then. And once you finish it off, it looks like it looks just like it keeps on the wave. But you'll see then this shell will be sitting in front of this shell then. So that's how I finished it off. Again, I just used that little spot here and just slip stitch right into that. Okay. All right, well, that is it for today. Thank you so much for joining me on the reverse shell border. I hope you enjoy it and that you get a lot of use out of it, out of a lot of different blankets. Like I said, it's really flexible in what you want to do, and you can make it your own, which is so cool with crochet. But anyways, if you like this video, please comment below and share and subscribe. I'd love to hear from you and see what you use it for. And that's all I have. Thanks. Have a great day.